What's up, Night Owls? It's Steely Sam here, and I'm here to give you a virulent review of God Eater 3. Now, chances are you haven't heard of this game. It's sort of flown under most people's radar, which is a shame because this game was a blast. God Eater 3 places you in a post-apocalyptic setting where monsters called origami have taken over, and the last remaining humans fight and scavenge in order to continue surviving. Some humans, referred to as God Eaters, have the ability to wield special weapons necessary to kill these origami that have taken over the world. These God Eaters are sent on missions to scavenge for supplies and take out threats that may be waiting outside survivor camps, also called ports. And this is where you come in. When the game starts, you are a prisoner who has just been injected with some kind of super soldier serum and given your very own God Arc weapon so you can go kill and scavenge for the good of mankind. The character creation is robust. You will have plenty of control over how your anime hero looks in game, and it will feel very personal to you. Things like your hair, your clothes can be changed in game without worrying about a change in stats. It's purely aesthetic changes to make your character look how you want them to. The first few missions are pretty straightforward and easy, teaching you the finer points on how to use your different abilities and overall how the game works. These opening missions are a bit excessive, and the game baits you into thinking an epic fight is coming with every new mission. You see, the game is gorgeous and the combat is fun and flashy, and even the first few missions put you against giant monsters that feel so satisfying to attack with whatever form of weapon you choose. The problem is, the fights are short, and just when you start to feel like the monster slaying anime king or queen you were destined to become, the fight ends and you're taken back to base. Once you suffer through the tutorial missions, however, the game really starts to take off. Bosses are dropping in for every mission, and they all have some new style or ability that is sure to drain you of all your pre-prepared health potions and leave you limping back to base with nothing but your fancy god-slaying weapon and whatever electrical tape your armor is seemingly made out of. The characters are all pretty typical characters that you've seen in your favorite anime, with no real character development to speak of, with the exception of Lulu. Lulu is introduced to you in an early mission by a closing cutscene where you get to watch helplessly as she decimates your entire party and proceeds to clean the clock of the party chef. Afterwards, you learn her story and how she got to be so awesome, and the game introduces you to a new mechanic and gives you the option to add her to the party, which you should. You'll be spending a large majority of your time with this game in combat, which is fine. The combat is fantastic. Sometimes things will feel grindy with some of the easier missions, especially early on. The time you don't spend in combat, you'll be in the terminal upgrading your God Arc and crafting new forms to try out. There's hundreds of different ways to approach a fight. The customization is spot on, and I recommend taking the time to really dig in and fine-tune your loadout. It will make combat much more satisfying in the long term. Progression is pretty linear. As you do missions, you will gain points and items that you can use to upgrade and craft to improve your character, and each improvement you make to your character will be noticeably impactful. Your party will also get points that you can spend to improve their abilities, and you can choose how to build each party member, whether it's around their predetermined style or you can come up with your own entirely new style. Like with your own character, the possibilities are near limitless, and you could spend a great deal of time just trying out different styles. There's a lot of fun to be had building your character and your party in a way that meshes, and it's not something you want to overlook. The multiplayer in God Eater 3 is seamless. You can form a team from the terminal and progress through the story with friends or with randoms in the lobby. You can set up your lobby however you see fit or join in on another player's lobby, assuming it isn't password protected. From my personal experience, the enemies do not scale up with additional players, making the game even easier to progress through with a team of human players. There is no PvP, however. The multiplayer experience is strictly co-op. Now on to the gripes. I'd have to say my biggest gripe is the controls. If you're a fan of the mouse and keyboard, you might want to pick up the controller anyway. I had some issues with controlling the camera with the mouse and keyboard movement until I finally just switched to the controller and things went a lot better. Now, not everyone has the option to use a controller, and I'm not saying that the mouse and keyboard is completely unbearable. Just know that controlling the camera can be a little overwhelming at times and will sometimes affect your combat. Another problem I have with the game is the pacing, at least at first. The tutorial missions felt like they dragged on way too long and could have been condensed into a single or a handful of missions instead. This is a common problem with games like this, and it's something to be aware of before you make your purchase. You're going to have to put in some time before the game opens up, and it isn't until this point that you will feel more in control of how you play the game, more specifically how you engage in combat. With all that being said, I had fun with this game, and if you're a fan of anime or anime-style games, you won't want to pass this one up. The art, the animations, the sound effects are all beautiful, although sometimes a little over the top. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you know how YouTube works. Hit those buttons, leave a comment down below. Let me know what upcoming game you're looking forward to, and I'll see you at sundown.